Welcome to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and today we're going to be looking at the statement released from Steven Bertolino, the Laundrie attorney. Let's get started. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new here, then hi, welcome. I hope you'll join us. It's a wonderful community of Grizzlies. All you got to do is subscribe and hit the bell, and you won't miss anything that I upload. I upload pretty often, usually almost every day. Some days when I go quiet, it's because I'm deep diving something. But thank you so much for being here. And if you guys watching right now would be willing to take care of that thumbs up, hit the like button so that YouTube knows you like this type of video, that would be amazing. So I thought I would start by showing you this video. Let's just summarize what happened.
That's according to Steven Bertolino, the family's attorney.
Sorry, hold on. We want the sound to be up. Hold on. Hello.
Says it could have caused panic if the public believed Brian was armed. This week, a medical examiner revealed that Laundrie died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. His remains were discovered at the Carlton Reserve in Sarasota County last month. However, investigators have not said whether the gun was found.
And that's that for that piece there. I'm going to take this off quickly. Okay. So what happened is, remember when Steven Bertolino jumped on the internet and told everyone before the FBI, before the medical examiners, the FBI still hasn't said anything. Not that I've seen, by the way, right? But he jumped on the internet and said, guess what, everyone? It's been revealed that Brian Laundrie died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. So he was first in line, right? Me. I said it first. And then later, the medical examiners released that official statement and report to say that their whole investigation is now complete relating to the death of Brian C. Laundrie, that he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. And then we all went, where's the gun? Did you find the gun? What gun is it? Could it be tied to Kyle and Crystal's murders? What gun are we talking about? Anyway, so as I've said in other videos before, just because the FBI or law enforcement didn't tell us that right there by the remains and the backpack, the notebook, whatever, that they found the gun, doesn't mean that that didn't happen. They just don't want to tell us. And I find it interesting that there's so much secrecy going on around the gun. Meaning that now there's another layer, which if we just back it up slightly, they say, Steven Bertolino, attorney for Brian Laundrie's family, has revealed that knowledge of a missing gun from the Laundrie family home was kept from the public. We knew about it, we just didn't want to tell anyone. Why? Then they say, Tuesday, a medical examiner revealed Brian Laundrie died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head after he disappeared during the search for his fiancée, Gabby Petito. I know some people get very angry when anyone says fiancé. Girlfriend? Former fiancé, ex-girlfriend. I don't know what's, it's difficult to say, when you're reporting this. I'm just reading this article, okay? So, Bertolino said at the time of Brian Laundrie's disappearance, his parents, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, gave their guns to police on September 17th, while officers completed the missing persons paperwork. So remember when the FBI came to their house? On the 13th was the last time they saw Brian, and he left on foot, but then later was said to leave in the Mustang. And then on the Wednesday, the Mustang was back at the home. That was on the 15th. And then the police thought that Roberta getting out of the car was actually Brian Laundrie. Then on the 17th, the FBI were at the home, swarming the home, as they said. And then they said, actually, we haven't seen Brian since Monday. Right. So it's a bit strange that at that time, when they just thought, oh my word, Brian is missing, that they were actually taking all their guns. I find that interesting too. I find it interesting. Anyway, just thoughts. Okay, moving along. They said, so while they were filling in the missing persons paperwork, they gave up all their guns, right? During the transfer, it was learned that a handgun was missing from its case. Missing from its case implies that the case was at the home, which means that that dry bag of evidence, some have speculated that it was the case of the gun in the dry bag. Right, so the case was not in the dry bag if the case was at home and the gun was missing from the home. So they say both law enforcement and myself felt it was best for that information not to be public, Bertolino said in a statement. Imagine, with the frenzied atmosphere at the time, if the public thought that Brian had a gun, he added. I can't speak to why law enforcement did not reveal the info, but we spoke about it at the time and I believe they felt as I did. Yes. While Brian Laundrie's belongings and notebook were found with his remains, or kind of close, right? The FBI nor Northport police have said if there was a gun recovered from the Carlton Reserve. Mayakahatchee Creek Environmental Park. I do not know if a gun was found near Brian's remains and possessions, Bertolino said. You would have to confirm that with law enforcement. I just find that so... The only word that comes to mind is like cheeky. Because it's like, guess what, everyone? This is how Brian died. Okay, I'm first. I said it first. Yes, but now when people ask you for more answers, like, okay, but was the gun found there? Oh, no, I don't know. You'll have to ask law enforcement. Yeah, don't ask me. I don't know. I just find that so... strange, so ridiculous. I know the information, but except don't ask me more questions, okay? I just know it. Anywho, let's look at one more article which says, the parents of Brian Laundrie, the man wanted for questioning in the murder of 22-year-old Gabby Petito, says they discovered their gun missing just after Laundrie himself vanished. Okay, Steven Bertolino, the attorney for the Laundrie family, said the parents surrendered their guns to law enforcement on September 17th, the same day they reported Brian Laundrie missing. They realized one handgun was not in its case and then told authorities. Is that why they called the authorities? Is that why they decided to tell the authorities? Because now he was going to go out there with a gun? I mean, what did they think was going to happen? I'm sure his mental health was really, really not healthy at that point, really deteriorated. And maybe they were really worried of like, ooh, okay, he's gone out there with a gun. But not worried enough to tell the public, right? That was decided. Don't tell the public. I just don't know. This is 2021. We see a lot on the news. A lot of stuff happens. And I just think protecting the public from, oh, Brian's got a gun. Would you really rather not tell the public? It sounds to me like it would be a better idea to say Brian Laundrie is missing and he's armed and dangerous. Isn't that what they normally do? Especially when they're looking for a fugitive on the run. They would normally say, stay away from him, he's armed and dangerous. Not in this scenario. Here they're like, shh, we're not going to tell anyone. Okay. But then you have people at the reserve. We had Dog the Bounty Hunter, Doug from Northport, Florida. We had teenagers, we had families. We had Andy from Popcorn Planet going out to Fort DeSoto and people living in Florida going out, to Mayakahatchee Creek Environmental Park. And you're not going to tell us that Brian Laundrie has a gun? I don't get it. I just really don't get it. I am very safety orientated. So for me, the safest thing to do, not the legal thing to do, the safest thing would be to tell the public, Brian Laundrie, the sole person of interest in Gabby Petito's murder, is now missing and he has a gun. He's armed and dangerous. So I find it very odd that they didn't say. And then if we look at the timing of when the FBI, the cadaver dogs and tracking dogs, the swamp buggies and everything entered the reserve and were looking for Brian for like a month, right? I always felt that they were looking for a gun. That when the divers went in, that they were looking for a gun. And I mean, maybe they were. Maybe they actually were looking for that gun based on Brian leaving the house on the 13th with a gun. They just didn't search there where his remains were found, but they were in the waters and everything. Remember, the divers went in and they were saying it's like alligator and snake infested waters, and it sounded so scary, and they were going in the water, and I'm like, they're looking for a gun or electronic devices or something. Well, after all that searching, a month later, the parents just walked in and found everything, right? Okay, but did they find the gun? Now, I don't go the conspiracy theory way in general. I'm still just I'm not worried. I'm like thinking about that Fort DeSoto gun. Could this belong to Robert Kessler. Remember that story? If you didn't check it out, it's 2 or 3 episodes ago. I covered the story of Robert Kessler, a 69-year-old man who murdered Stephanie Crone Overholtz. And her remains were found not that far from Fort DeSoto. And the timeline is a little bit off, except that her last Facebook post was on the 22nd of October, and on the 24th of October, August, September, October, the gun was found, right? However, so that's one theory. It could be Robert Kessler's, it could be someone else's, or it could be Brian Laundrie's. And this is where it becomes interesting for additional people being charged in this case. That Brian Laundrie's parents, what if they went there because they saw the Mustang and they brought the Mustang back home? So what if they were able to access his favorite spot, saw him deceased? I don't know. It would be so weird to not call the police or do anything. But we just don't know what happens behind the scenes. But what if they took the gun and did actually throw the gun away? Fort DeSoto, rope and brick. Why would they do that? Only if the gun could be tied to other murders, possibly. This is just a speculation. And how would they know that? Is either Brian told them or he wrote a note or something. I don't know. However, if we just bring it back to basics, it's most likely that the gun was found right there by his remains, and law enforcement isn't telling us. Maybe it's a 9mm. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it will create more panic. Why panic to say that he's armed? Why? Because of Kylan and Crystal's murders that we're all thinking it might be tied to? I don't know. I just find this all very... It feels a little bit like if you're 20 years old, I don't know what age to say, and then you're I don't know, some adult comes up to you and like, let me tell you about the birds and the bees. Okay, are you ready for this? And you're like, what the hell? That's what this whole report feels like. Like, do they think we're that dumb or innocent that if you tell us that Brian Laundrie went into that reserve armed, that we'll be like, oh, panic, like mass panic? I mean, what is that? What do you mean? What kind of frenzy would happen from that? I feel like there was more frenzy in not saying that, because then the frenzy was in searching for him from the public. Remember all the sightings? Oh my word. Interesting. So one more time, Bertolino said, imagine with a frenzied atmosphere at the time if the public thought Brian had a gun. I cannot speak to why law enforcement did not reveal the info, but we spoke about it at the time, and I believe they felt as I did. Okay. His remains were found on October 20th. Wait, October 20th. You see, his remains were found on October 20th. Sorry, I'm going back to my timeline with a gun. Hold on. Let's just go to Stephanie Overholtz. October. I'm mixing up something here. Just hold on. Stephanie Overholtz. I don't know if you saw the story. I'm just going to show you this quickly. This was the story that I covered. Remember those body parts that were floating in McKay Bay in Florida? People were like, oh my word, could this be connected to Brian Laundrie? Well, no. But Robert Kessler was arrested on a second-degree murder charge. October 22nd was her last post. That's what I believe. October, November. Yes. Yeah, we're in November now. I don't know. Time flies when you deep dive these cases. But I'm trying to think of Brian Laundrie's remains were found on October 20th, and the gun was found on October 24th. You know what I mean? It could tie up with either of these cases. Just say Brian. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. You remember that Fort DeSoto gun? Do you think that it belongs to the Laundries, Robert Kessler, or somebody else? Let me know in the comments. And also, Could there be 2 guns missing? The only reason I say that is, remember the gun in Brian Laundrie's bedroom? I mean, we still don't know about that gun. I know they turned over all their firearms and they say only one was missing from the home. But what if Brian had one on him on his van life trip and that gun is also gone? We just never know. You never know in this case. That's basically what I'm saying, right? One more article, they say, the attorney for the family of Brian Laundrie tells ABC7 that law enforcement witnessed the discovery of a missing weapon the day that they reported their son missing, and the whereabouts of that weapon are still unknown. Laundrie, the sole person of interest in the homicide of Gabby Petito, was found deceased in Mayakahachi Reserve in October. His cause of death was ruled to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Steven Bertolino tells the media that the Laundries did not immediately inform law enforcement about the missing weapon. He says the media reports saying that they didn't immediately inform law enforcement. Those reports are inaccurate. Chris and Roberta Laundrie voluntarily surrendered all guns in their home to law enforcement on September 17th. Okay, they say at that time it was discovered that one handgun was not in this case. Now, when he says just above that the Laundries did not inform law enforcement immediately, that's inaccurate. It's accurate because they last saw him on the 13th and they only reported this on the 17th. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's not immediate. I don't know. In my definition of immediate, 5 days is not immediate. He said both law enforcement and myself felt it best for that information to not be public. Right. Oh my goodness. After the discovery of Brian's remains, Bertolino says he has not been informed by law enforcement or the FBI if a firearm was discovered at the scene. Why not? If he is Brian Laundrie's attorney, if he was going to represent him at a big trial that they were preparing for, there was a warrant for his immediate arrest and all this. But now you don't know if there was a gun at your client's remains? That's weird. I don't get it. I don't believe it. There probably was a gun. That's what I'm going to say. There probably was a gun found at the remains. And if there wasn't, then, oh, damn. Yeah, who's being charged for what? And why would they remove the gun? And where is the gun? And what's going on? Let me know. Okay, so that's it for now. Let's see. I meant to make it quite short, but it was still 17 minutes. My bad. I want to quickly show you one thing here, please. So here, thank you to all the Grizzly sending me images. If you ever feel like I sent you mine and you didn't show it, I'm so sorry. I try my very, very best to keep up with all your emails. Jill, looking wonderful. Jill sent me such an amazing package, right? And all the makeup you see me wearing lately on my eyes, the eyeshadow and everything, and the lip gloss, is from Jill. And all the Swedish fish, oh my word. Look at you with your Let It Be tumbler. That looks so, so nice, oh my word. And then we've got Space Junker on the right with Hectic. Oh my word. With a red flag. And the Keep It Grizzly joggers. I haven't seen anyone wear the joggers yet. They look so nice. Gotta get me some of those. Thank you so much for sending these. Hello, just check. Sorry, I'm doing a sound check. I'm like, hello. Look at this one. This is from Linda. Linda went to the Mayakahachi Creek Environmental Park on a vacation trip and then went to see the Gabby Petito Memorial Bench. And she's got on her Hectic, oh my word, shirt as well. And then please remember, guys, I am doing a fundraiser for Daniel Robinson. Grizzlies love Daniel Robinson. This is the only collection that has the bucket hat. Teespring doesn't yet have like caps or beanies, but they've got this. And I think it's pretty cute. I want one of those too. So if you want to buy from this range, the link is in the description box below. And all proceeds from this range will be donated to Daniel Robinson's father, David Robinson. Now, as you know, I've been passionately covering this case. And Daniel Robinson is still missing. He went missing on June 23rd. His father is searching for him every weekend. He took Thanksgiving weekend off, and by that it means that he had to, obviously, not search this weekend because the volunteers needed some rest, especially for Thanksgiving, and they needed to spend time with their family. So you know what David did? He volunteered at a homeless shelter to give to the less fortunate. That is amazing. Oh my word. So please, could you help support David in his search for his son? That would be amazing. Please go check out my community post as well. I've made a whole post about it and exactly what David Robinson needs from us right now. If you can support in any of those ways, please do so. And then we've got the Grizzly holiday collection. I mean, it's what's today? 28th of November. December is round the corner. If you want to get these for Christmas, I would recommend ordering them now because it does take, I don't know, for me in the Netherlands, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to receive this stuff. For you guys in the US, some of you receive it within a week. Lucky you. So I would get those rolling if you wanted to get those for the holiday collection. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Remember to take care of the thumbs up button, leave your comments below, share this video, and I will see you in the next one.